Hello, I'm Kristen Lyons, and today I'm answering the question, what are important goals and objectives for students studying to be educational and school psychologists? As Dr. Stevens stated in her video, I'm one of the students taking this course at the start of my studies as an educational and school psychologist. The Code of Ethics of American Education Research Association articulates a common set of values upon which education researchers build their professional and scientific work. The primary purpose of the Code of Ethics is the welfare and protection of the individuals and groups with whom education researchers work. They state normative ethical behavior and provide guidance on issues that education researchers may encounter. AREA's Code of Ethics consists of 5 principles and specific ethical standards. The principles set the highest ideals for professional conduct. The ethical standards set rules for ethical conduct. The standards are not exhaustive, but they try to cover most situations. As an educational and school psychologist, it's important to understand the Code of Ethics for AERA. I want to conduct research in order to continually improve myself as a school psychologist. When I conduct research, I need to know the ethic principles and guidelines so that I can conduct ethical research. If I find myself in a difficult situation, I need to be familiar with the AERA ethical standards so I can choose the best route to follow. Understanding the AERA Code of Ethics is an essential goal and objective for educational and school psychologists. NASP, or the National Association for School Psychologists, states the key foundations for all services by school psychologists are understanding of diversity in development and learning, research and program evaluation, and legal, ethical, and professional practice. All these documents are intended to define school psychology, promote services offered by school psychologists, and provide a foundation for future of school psychology. School psychologists are encouraged to use a systematic problem-solving process that includes identifying the ethical issues involved, consulting these principles, and consulting colleagues with great expertise, evaluating the rights and welfare of all affected parties, considering alternative solutions and their consequences, and accepting responsibility for the decisions made. School psychologists should maintain the highest standard for responsible professional practices by safeguarding the privacy of records, but also ensuring that parents have access to their child's records. NASP states, to best meet the needs of children, school psychologists cooperate with other professionals in relationships based on mutual respect. In choosing an appropriate course of action, school psychologists should consider the law and the principles of professional ethics and monitor their own and other school psychologists' conduct. NASP states, school psychologists are encouraged to strive for excellence rather than simply meeting the minimum obligations outlined in the NASP principles for professional ethics and to engage in the lifelong learning that is necessary to achieve and maintain expertise in applied professional ethics. In order to be successful as a school psychologist, I have to know myself. How hard can I push, when I need to back off, and what is really best for me and others in all situations. The model for comprehensive and integrated school psychological services represents the official policy of NASP regarding the delivery of comprehensive school psychological services. This model almost acts as a definition for the field of school psychology by addressing the delivery of school psychological services within the context of educational programs and educational settings. For professional practices, school psychologists have knowledge of models and strategies of consultation, collaboration, and communication to apply to individuals, families, groups, systems, and methods to promote effective implementation of services. For organizational practices, school psychologists provide coordinated, organized services that are aligned with the strategic planning process that utilizes an evidence-based program evaluation model. School systems must also ensure that physical, personnel, and fiscal support systems are adequate and that policies and practices exist that result in positive, proactive communication among employees at all administrative levels of the organization. As a school psychologist, I must understand that neither I nor the school system that I work for will be able to meet all of these standards, but it should be the goal to meet all of the standards. As you stated, Dr. Stevens, in your presentation, school psychologists function as change agents, using their skills in communication, collaboration, and consultation to promote necessary change at the individual, student, classroom, building, and district, state, and federal levels. I believe this is the ultimate goal of school psychologists. With educational aspects in a constant state of change, it will be my job to stay on top of these changes and try my best to promote these changes for all involved. On that note, when Dr. Stevens stated that we should use this assignment to set educational goals, I decided to look into a topic that seemed interesting to me. I wanted to see, I want to be a school psychologist that addresses the needs of all students. By studying new trends in education, I'll be able to understand how these trends affect the school system as a whole, and then conduct research in order to determine the effects of the trends on individual students. One of the latest trends is physical activity and its effects on academic success. Bash states, emerging literature documents the ways in which physical activity, fitness, and school-based physical activity programs such as physical education favorably affect educational outcomes. Physical activity may affect connectedness with peers and teachers because of the effects on mental and emotional health, decrease absences by improving health, and decrease dropout rates because these programs are enjoyable for youth and they make them more likely to attend and remain in school. With the high emphasis on standardized test scores, many school administrators have taken time away from physical activity. Bash states there's no current research to indicate that this strategy is effective in increasing scores. In fact, a growing body of evidence shows that increased time for physical education and other school-based physical activity programs is associated with either a neutral or positive impact on academic outcomes. Bash concludes that school-based physical activity programs provide an opportune time to help youth learn and practice social behaviors associated with teamwork, cooperation, and respect for others, which in turn can favorably influence school climate, connectedness with school, and educational outcomes. Physical activity and its effects on academic success is one of my areas of interest. From what I've learned so far about school psychology, this field seems to typically address the needs of students with disabilities. Most of the information I've seen about physical activity and academic success seems to apply more to the whole, an area that I believed would be more in the educational psychology. From reading all of the school psychology ethical principles and standards, I now have a new understanding of the field of school psychology and what all it entails. In collaboration with others, school psychologists must demonstrate skills to use data collection in order to implement and evaluate services that support cognitive and academic skills. They must also develop, implement, and evaluate effective interventions for increasing the amount of time students are engaged in learning. A school psychologist must support the needs of all and evaluate and implement data in order to support cognitive and academic skills. Thank you.